Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call on stage Mr. Nangaraj P. Solkar. He is winner of Top 100 CISO Awards 2012 with 27 years of experience in BFSCI domain and cyber security veteran. Currently, he is associated as Chief Information Security Officer with Bajaj Allianz General Insurance. Can we have a huge round of applause for him, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? I'm so short that I don't know whether I'm reachable to the mic. So I know that I'm standing between you and the lunch. So on the interest of time, I will not take much of the time. Though whatever I have prepared, and today, after attending the first off session, I could understand that what I prepared or my homework was not enough at all, right? So I come from the insurance background. I worked for almost 21 years in insurance, 15 years in life insurance, and 6 years in general insurance. So having said that, so there's a saying that when there is no food for thought, let's give some food for stomach as well, right? So people have already added a lot of thoughts to food for our thoughts. I don't know what much I'm going to add here. Okay, so before moving on to the slides, I don't have much slides. So today, what we all are witnessing is a huge shift from data security risk management to compliance risk management. So that is what, at least I could, everyone must be feeling this. I could feel this because now compliance, seeing that as a risk. If you're not going to be compliant, then obviously you're inviting a bigger risk to the organization, to ourselves, including the individuals, right? So when we are witnessing this, so my topic would be on the IRDA insurance regulatory ask today after they had been coming up with a lot of changes in last 6 years. Time to time they have been coming with a lot of okay. So quickly on this, including the DPDP Act, whatever comes, obviously the sectorial regulators also adopt that first, and then the sectorial organizations are also, the regulated entities also supposed to follow on that. I just created a summary out of it from the recent guidelines, which was released by IRDA in month of April, and most of the insurance companies are struggling to see that how we can make a framework to be more compliant to it. So this is something more related to the data security, a summary of what is IRDA guidelines talk about it. And when it comes to the data security, data discovery, right? So here I'm trying to map what Seclore is offering. Seclore is, we all know that, they are pioneer on this, data security, which is on a granular side. So the data security tool, what is the demand today is to discover all the data wherever it is lying. But this has been preached to us by, Seclore kind of companies at a user level, user-centric level, that, you go and discover it. When you are the creator, you are the owner of the information. You are the information owner, you are also the risk owner, right? So the discovery started from there, the culture started from there. Now today the requirement is to discover wherever it is, which is requirement of a tool, right? And classification, obviously, that owners or the information owners or the risk owners have been empowered. At least I'm associated since 2007 with Seclore, and which I had been hearing that they are trying to preach, or they are preaching that when you are creating, you are supposed to classify the information. When you are classifying it accordingly, you protect it, right? So this allows something which we could see. And data leakage prevention, always when it comes to data leakage prevention, always we think about the DLP. Seclore was ahead of it. DLP, even if it fails, your data, when it is protected with the right permission, with right encryption, and even when it goes in a wrong hands or in any media, USB or any of the internet, right? It doesn't matter. It is always secure wherever it travels. The policy follows, right? And IRDA also demands for the security awareness when it comes to the data security. Awareness is all, all panelists were talking about awareness consistently. Mr. Suresh was insisting on that, regular awareness, routine awareness on the phishing, other things, right? So when it, again, this, awareness is something that, till we go back to the tool-enabled data discovery, tool-enabled data encryption, tool-enabled data classification, we rely on our users to do that. The responsibility is something which is lying with every user who was going to create that, right? So this is something which, quick another, sharing with third parties. Third parties is something which always we had a problem, right? Being an insurance company or a banking company, always data sharing with, everything can be processed in-house. However, there are some areas that we may need to share it outside for policy printing, renewal printing, check printing, right? So when we share that, obviously the customer information also goes out. So Seclore has already come up with this, and we are, most of us are using this. So this is something which is meeting the regulatory requirement, those who are already using it. And I'll not touch upon on each topic of this. I'll just quickly go to the challenges. So what are the challenges we face today? So every time the regulator keeps on coming with one or other regulatory requirement, right? So once the regulation has come, the circular keep coming as an addendum. So for insurance companies, they would have seen that. In last 3 years, at least 4 to 5 addendums which have come, circulars which have come, adding to the current regulation. So this time they come up with the complete revamp of the, right? So that is going to be always a continuous challenge, right? And so that relies on the CISOs to keep doing the assessment, gap assessment between the compliance requirement and the implementation part of it. And Seclore, obviously, it helps on the incident management during the audit or during the incidents, right? In both the places, the audit trails are available for the complete accessibility of the information which we are sending outside. Centrally manage it and decentrally distribute it. Okay, so maybe on the challenges, who is responsible over here for any of the implementation of security when it comes? So let us take the same DRM. If DRM is not successfully implemented in the organization, is it a failure of Seclore? Is it failure of the management? Is it failure of the user? We can't keep blaming it after somebody finds out, auditor finds out that it is not implemented to the adequate level, right? Obviously, I see this as I'm talking from an insurance background, right? As a CISO representing an insurance background. Who is the failure of this if it is not implemented? I see this as a CISO's responsibility, right? Interact with your management. You are the one spoke who has to interact with your management, interact with your business heads, interact with your users, interact with your vendors, partners, right? Technology, when I say vendor partners, or when it is used on a Microsoft Office, Excel, if it is not working, whatever the issues, or work with your partner like Seclore, get them arranged. If it is not adopted properly, the adoption failure is, that is what I would see from my perspective. So a classic example, what I used to tell whenever I talk is, if your requirement is to make a call from your phone and see WhatsApp, why do you need to buy a iPhone 14 or 15? Buying something and not at all using the features of it, and using only for 2 features. Let's buy something which is required only that many features, right? Buying all the features and implementing only 2 out of 10 or 10 out of 100. So the feature enablement, the consumption, the adoption of the features or something, again, a responsibility of the CISO when it comes to the security domain. Whether 100%, so when we are evaluating a product, we do the evaluation of success criteria. After evaluation, when we are buying, it is not installing, it is implementation. So the implementation is something different from installation, right? So if a security solution is not completely implemented, obviously, and if it is not completely tracked and it is not regularly assessed for utilization, control effectiveness, right? All these things, obviously, the failure is expected part of it, and the responsibility lies with the CISO, right? And finally, so there is a say that, have you been hacked? So when you ask somebody, the answer is yes or yet to be hacked. Similarly, do we have an option for not using document rights management? No. We have to use it. And obviously, have you used it? If not, you don't have an option, you have to use it. If you are using it, that is not enough, that you have to keep exploring, assess adoptability, assess the effectiveness of usage, right? assess the audit trail of it, whether there is any violation to it, keep reporting that. Obviously, this becomes overburden to the CISO sometimes. We need to find out the way, whether we need to build a team for it or we need to find a smart way of doing it, right? So with this, I'll not take much time of yours. I'll say thank you for your patience. It is, there is a saying that, so these are some of the benefits, right? There's a saying that, it is very difficult to give a long speech before lunch, or it is very difficult to listen to your speech before lunch. I don't know what is true today. So thanks, everyone.